Hello and welcome to StudyIQ. Today we are going to have a very interesting discussion about a recent decision by United States of America's President Joe Biden, who has reversed almost 5 to 6 years policy allowing Nord Stream 2 pipeline to commence. Basically, he has now given in principle approval to the Nord Stream 2 project. Many media outlets have been suggesting that this is Biden's surrender to Angela Merkel and Germany. In fact, many other outlets have suggested that Joe Biden has surrendered in front of Putin, where previous Obama administration as well as Trump administration, they were opposed to Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which would supply gas from Russia to European continent. But now Joe Biden has allowed it. So in this video, we will talk about the repercussions of this particular decision. So we'll analyze how United States and European relations are going to evolve, what is going to happen to US-Germany relations, and in general, what would be the impact of this particular decision on the entire world. Because a decision by the most powerful country of the world, where they have ignored the concerns of Eastern European countries, it does give an indication to other countries how the business in this developed country is going to take place. That means how United States is going to take decisions when it comes to the core regions or core areas or core projects all over the world. So this is going to be the agenda for discussion. It will be a lengthy discussion. That's a cautious note for you. Let's begin. To get all this information, stay tuned with me. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. You can follow me on this ID. And if you're preparing for state services examination, this is the list. Go to the details that are given here, studyiq.com, or download the app to know more about our programs. A lot of discounts are running in July 2021. Right, let's first talk about the news. As I suggested, Germany and United States have now struck a deal where this Nord Stream 2 pipeline would be allowed. Now, both Germany and United States, they have sidelined Eastern European countries and their fears which are connected to this particular project. In fact, since its conception, the idea itself, this particular project has been very, very controversial. You can see the heading here. Joe Biden has been accused of total surrender to Vladimir Putin with respect to this controversial gas pipeline. Let's try to analyze the impact of this particular decision. But before that, let me just give you a brief overview of this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. I'm quite sure many of the viewers have an idea about this, but let me just quickly take you through the project. This Nord Stream 2 project, it was conceived in 2015, where the Russian energy giant Gazprom and 5 other European entities were supposed to develop this particular project. It's a huge project worth $11 billion. And once it is completed, this 1200 kilometer pipeline, which connects Ust-Luga from Russia to Greifswald in Germany, it is going to supply about 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year to the European continent. And we all know that the Russian economy, it runs on two things. One is the defense exports. The other one is the energy exports. And if this particular project is completed, the clout of Russian economy is going to increase. The dependency of Europe, the dependency of Germany on Russians for energy is going to increase more and more. And that is why it was very controversial. In fact, in the map, you can see there is already one Nord Stream 1, the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which is already completed. It already supplies about 55 billion cubic meters of gas per year. It connects Vyborg in Russia to Greifswald in Germany. That means already 55 billion cubic meters of gas is being supplied. Now the capacity would double to 100 billion cubic meters of gas per year. Right from the conceivement of this particular project, it has been very controversial. Why? Because it was planned in 2015, but 1 year before that, in 2014, Russia was very aggressive when it came to Ukraine. In 2014, Russia unilaterally, forcefully, it took over, it annexed Crimea, the region which belonged to Ukraine. In fact, this led to a lot of problems between Russia and the Western Bloc, European Union as well as USA. A lot of sanctions were imposed on the Russians. But very next year, this project was planned, and predominantly Germany supported this project because Germany, it relies on energy from Russia. So they supported this particular project. But what has been the stance of United States of America? See, USA right from the beginning, from 2015 itself, it does not support the project. In fact, in USA, there has been bipartisan consensus. What is the meaning of this? both Democrats as well as Republican parties, both of them, they believe that if Nord Stream 2 is completed, then the Russian clout, the Russian power is going to increase. It is going to further embolden Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, who would become more and more assertive in this particular region. In fact, this bipartisan opposition to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, it has been the cornerstone of not just Trump administration, because just before Biden, it was Donald Trump. Donald Trump imposed heavy sanctions on Russian officials, Russian companies who were involved in Nord Stream 2. Even before that, Obama administration, and mind you, with Obama, at that time, Barack Obama was the president. Who was the vice president? It was Joe Biden. Both of them, they opposed this particular project. But now, in 2021, Joe Biden, after becoming the president, he has reversed this particular decision. So we'll analyze what exactly is going to happen after that. Now, the question in front of us is just United States opposed to this particular project? The answer would be no. It's not just USA, but many other countries have also opposed to this particular project, predominantly the Eastern European countries like Poland, and very adamantly Ukraine has been opposed to this particular project. Now, it is quite understandable why Ukraine is opposing it, because Ukraine's area Crimea was annexed by Russia in 2014, and that is why Ukraine is opposed to this project. But Ukraine has its other issues also. For example, why it is very fearful that if the Nord Stream 2 project is completed, it would have huge financial losses. The reason is Ukraine already has land pipelines between Russia and Europe that run through Ukrainian territory. Now, if you see here, this is the Vyborg to Greifswald route which runs through the water body. But if you look at Ukraine, there is already Soyuz and Brotherhood which pass from Russia to European continent via Ukraine. And for this particular pipeline, Ukraine earns a lucrative $3 billion per year as a transit fee. And if the Nord Stream 2 is completed, then there is a possibility that Russia might bypass this particular route and not supply gas through Ukraine. So it is huge loss for Ukraine. Apart from that, Ukraine is also fearful that there would be another invasion by Russia once the new pipeline is operational, because it is going to embolden the Russian authorities and Russian President Vladimir Putin. So USA was opposed, a lot of Eastern European countries were opposed, but what has happened now? The latest development is Joe Biden has now allowed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline to continue. US and Germany, they have struck a deal where they are now going to allow the pipeline. The sanctions will be removed from the Russian authorities, Russian officials who are involved in the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. But a rider has also been given. You can see here two media reports. On one side, one media outlet accuses Joe Biden of surrender, but on the other side, US and Germany, they have also warned Russia. In the draft Nord Stream 2 accord, they have suggested if Nord Stream 2 pipeline is used for political leverage or political gain, then there would be repercussions for Russia. That has been said by Germany and USA. Now, this is some sort of a protection against possible misuse in future by Russia, probably with respect to Ukraine or any other Eastern European country. But what has happened is now it's fait accompli. Joe Biden has taken a decision to allow Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Let's analyze what is going to happen because of this. The first question in front of us is why USA has reversed the policy, because if you talk about last 6 years, earlier the Obama administration, it was against the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The Trump administration, it was against the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. But Joe Biden has reversed the stance. Why? Because Joe Biden's policy has been to play a bigger role in global politics, and from a liberal point of view, he wants to rebuild the transatlantic ties. That means US-Europe ties he wants to improve. Now, even if this is the reason, let's try to analyze what has Joe Biden actually achieved out of this particular historic decision. The first thing is that Russia is going to complete this project. They are going to get billions of dollars out of the gas export. But what has Biden achieved out of this? Has Biden improved the transatlantic ties? That is the question. Although it's too early to comment, but if we look at the initial responses, there has been a joint statement already by Poland and Ukraine where they have bursted out towards Germany, bursted out towards USA, that there was no consultation with them and they are the most affected countries because of this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. In fact, many other Central and Eastern European countries are drawing a conclusion that when it comes to big decisions, Germany can take decisions which is in their national interest, which has been very true with Angela Merkel. But now Biden administration is also prepared to give concessions at the cost of other security. Now we all know that what happened in 2004 was a violation of 1994 Budapest Memorandum on Security Assurances. Now in 1994, after the disintegration of USSR, Ukraine also had many nuclear warheads in their territory because it was a part and parcel of Russia before, USSR before, right? Now Ukraine gave up all their nuclear warheads when they signed the 1994 Budapest Memorandum of Security Assurance, but they were assured by USA, they were assured by European Union, they were assured by other regions that they will come to protect Ukraine if there is any threat on Ukraine. That did not happen in 2014. Crimean territory was already annexed by Russia. Nobody came to assistance of Ukraine. This clearly gives an indication to these countries that their security, for instance, security of Ukraine, security of Poland, security of other Central European countries, it is not a concern for Germany or a concern for United States of America. So, are the ties improving? Right now, the answer would be no. Now, let's talk about other aspect. In this transatlantic ties, let's try to understand that Biden wants to improve his relations with Germany because now they have struck a deal with Germany allowing the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Obviously, Germany is going to benefit a lot out of this because they are going to get cheap gas, cheap products, energy products basically from Russia into Germany. But what has Germany given in return? What has Angela Merkel given in return to Joe Biden? Nothing actually. Why? As of now, Germany has not committed to any NATO defense spending. Out of this deal, there was no mention of NATO. In fact, Germany has been continuing with its 5G technology through Chinese Huawei, where many other European countries have now discarded this Chinese technology, but Germany is still continuing. On the personal front, on the bilateral front, Germany has not even given concessions on the automobile tariff that it imposes on US markets or US car makers, which makes US cars unattractive in Germany. Now, this is the present discussion. But what is going to happen next? We all know that in Germany, elections are due soon. And there is a probability that the German Green Party will become a part of ruling coalition. Nobody knows what is going to happen in future. But German Green Party's chancellorship candidate, Annalena Baerbock, we have discussed about her before also. She has already denounced the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, citing ecological and geostrategic reasons. So this clearly shows what has Biden achieved out of Germany. Nothing as of now. He did not get any benefits in return. Possibly in future, what we are looking at, if the German Green Party comes to power, then the US-German relations are heading towards rocky terrain, isn't it? So right now, it's a negative. So that's why I told you at the beginning, it is going to be a critical discussion of Biden's decision. Now, on a larger note, from a macro perspective, what is the repercussion of this particular decision by Joe Biden administration? What will it have? What impact will it have on other regions? See, right now, what have the two countries done? Germany and USA, they have taken decisions to allow Nord Stream pipeline, which will have impact on the Eastern European countries. Their inputs were also not taken. So what does this indicate to the other regions? That the US administration, now it will be willing to make any decision without consulting the countries whose interest is prime in that particular region. Yes, Joe Biden wants to play a bigger role at the global level, but consulting other countries is a basic principle which was basically abrogated here, isn't it? So what indication does it put on other countries? What is going to happen in Afghanistan? We already saw Trump did the same thing. He did not consult the national government of Afghanistan before even signing the Doha Agreement. US envoy Zalmay Khalilzad, he in fact forced the national government led by Ashraf Ghani to respect the Doha Agreement. Joe Biden is doing very similar thing. What will happen in Afghanistan is a prime question. Will USA leave Afghanistan to its fate? Now, decision that has been taken on this NS2, the Nord Stream 2, it clearly shows that US is even willing to leave other countries on their own fate. Apart from that, what will happen to Iran? Because if this volatile region, if it follows, or if Joe Biden follows a similar kind of the process here, without consulting the Gulf countries, without consulting the Israel, if he takes a decision directly to allow Iran with its basically civil nuclear project, if he renegotiates the JCPOA, then what is going to be impact here? What is going to happen in Cuba? We recently discussed about the protest in Cuba. Will USA intervene in Cuba unilaterally? So all these questions are in front of us. How will USA handle all these issues at global level? Now, when it comes to India also, a very important question is in front of us. Because if USA is leaving Afghanistan to its fate, what is going to happen to India? We are already in confrontation with China. Will USA come to our help? Because we know that China and US ties with respect to trade are very, very high. So will Joe Biden continue to challenge China? That is the question. Now, all these decisions, they indicate that Joe Biden administration, it can go to any length to achieve their own national interest without thinking even a bit about the other stakeholders. That's the indication that has been given by Joe Biden administration. Let's wait and watch how this decision is going to pan out. This was just a speculation which was based on observation that USA and Germany have taken a decision to allow NS2 without even consulting other countries, which will have repercussions on other regions as well. That's it right now from my side. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.